Evening, my Facebook friends and people, and hang on 1 second, please. Forgot to shut my door there. My little dog here in yonder will start barking in a moment, wanting to participate in our video here, and a little fan running to make the air conditioner circulate better. So anyway, just some things that we do around the household here, and he'd already heard me, and I forgot to close that door. So anyway, good evening. Welcome to my Facebook Live this evening, and I hope you've had a very good day. Today is now coming to a very good end. I've got a great day planned out for myself tomorrow. Get out and enjoy the weekend. In my area, it's a little bit smoky to be outside, but still going to be a good day. We have a fire going on in the Okefenokee Swamp over here, and the smoke has now cast a shadow over all the playtime outside. But anyway, it is still going to be a good day, regardless of what is out there. You know what they say, make lemonade, so we're going to do that. But again, I hope you've had a good day. The past couple of nights, I have been talking about and bringing to you information about different herbs and things to do that you should have in your cabinet, and the benefits of things that I studied and learned about a little bit here and there, and I've been learning a lot. So anyway, today as I was riding along and considering the things I had already talked about, and and what I can do to help out in the areas I have talked about, and so I left some of the stuff on the board because it's important, and the things I've talked about in the last 2 nights, which is the white American ginseng, which is an overall great product for everything and has a lot of benefits to it, one of the master herbs and all the Chinese stuff, and then the vitamin C, which is a very, very powerful antioxidant in its right form. And that was one of the things that I was surprised about. I mean, you know that there's cheaper versions over here, cheaper versions over there, and that kind of thing. But when I learned that ascorbic acid and vitamin C are not the same thing, that was fascinating to me. I had to share that. And then there's a lot of benefits, that come from that in the different areas, and that's what you see on the board, the different fruits and herbs that you can get this from, which gives you the natural vitamin C, which is so much more potent, which really does the true job of vitamin C as it's supposed to. Now, that was not the purpose of this evening, but I kind of got off on that again. No, the purpose this evening, my friends, is I thought about it, I said, what is, and I got this stuff in front of me on my screen here because you'll see my glasses light up, and I really don't like that, but there's nothing I can do about that. Because in the things that we're talking about, some of this stuff is very important, and I don't want to chance it to memory, because I do know and understand a lot of things, but, when I'm talking to you about something as important as our health, and then I want to make sure that I'm referring to the information that I'm getting it from in the right way, and you're getting all that information also. And it's important because the things that are in common in all these herbs I've talked about is your cardiorespiratory system, that all of these things affect basically your heart. Okay, and that's important because did you know that, as it says here, it says 3 Americans over the age of 30, out of every 3 Americans over the age of 30 are at a risk for heart failure. That's shocking. 3 Americans over the age of 30, every 3. There you are. That's there, and I do know some people like that. I mean, I have a young lady in a congregation I attend. A young lady with children is now waiting for a heart transplant. All of a sudden, she just had issues, and they're like, we don't know what to do. Well, you need a transplant. Now, sometimes I have to question that because they make such a great decision, but at the same time, it really may be true. There are many people who have heart conditions that don't know it, though. I mean, they have, well, I'm getting tired, or this, that, or the other, but it's usually something to do with the heart, which leads to later in life as you get slower and slower and slower. And one day you have a heart attack, or as one of my friends also did, as he went for a checkup one day, because he said, just a little bit of pain right there, I'm just going to have it checked out. Well, to kind of find out, he had 2 blockages, had to have stents put in. That's scary. to think that, one day that can happen to you, just like cancer, the same thing. We have to pay attention. So it's important that I let you know, as I discover these things, what you can do about that, or what you can do to help with that at least, because let's face it, either you're going to spend money on yourself now and have prevention, and it be a little bit of money, or you're going to spend all your money you have in somebody else's later on to get out of the pain you may be in. It's one or the other. So it's better to take care of yourself and enjoy a long life, my friends, I assure you. And that is so what we need to do. Anyway, so I want to talk, there's a lot of herbs that can help out with this, okay? I want to start this evening and just talk about 2, possibly 3. I got my little timer thing running over here. I keep running real long with some of these nights, and I really don't want to do that. So I got a timer running on, and I got to get it back over here where I can keep an eye on it. But I do want to get information out to you in a timely fashion, and I know it's hard to absorb a lot of things. So, in talking about our heart this evening, one of the first herbs that you find worldwide is used, and I used to see this all the time in health food stores when I would go and visit these people, because where I worked at right down the road was a health food store. At lunch, where did I go? To the health food store. I loved to go down there and listen to them and talk to them. We became great friends and a lot of things. And so people that had high blood pressure, one of the things, a main herb in that is a herb called a Hawthorne Berry. And believe it or not, many people actually have this berry out there in their yard as ornamental bushes. And so I learned what it looked like and all these good things. I did not learn how to make the extracts out of them and eat them and use them and so forth, but because it's too convenient to go buy them, okay, for people who do that. So to me, sometimes I grew up on the farm and we done a lot of canning, and that was really good, but it was a time consumer. And for me, it's much simpler to go down and find somebody else that loves to do that stuff and just buy it from them. So that's the way I feel about that. And so, brother, they're good to look at and they're out there, but just go buy them. It makes it much simpler. The process is done properly if you buy it from the right people. And so Hawthorne Berry is used for the heart. Now, there is a specific, very specific, it does a lot of things, a very specific thing that it does for your heart, though, and that part of our heart that's called the arterial walls. It protects that. Now, I do not know which part that is. I know it's a pumping part because your heart is a pumper either in or out. I do know that, okay, and I know it's divided up into 4 things, but to give you an idea of a diagram, I couldn't do that at the moment right here. I could if I studied it for you a little bit. But it also has the ability not only to protect the arterial walls, but to dilate the blood vessels, the coronary blood vessels. Then that means those blood vessels going to that heart, and it makes them, instead of having a small, it makes them big, which allows more blood to flow through, which means you have more opening, less blood pressure, better heart pumping. You're getting enough blood in there to fill the pump. When I grew up on the farm, you had this here hand pump, and you pump this thing, and you had to put water in it to fill it up. Well, once you got the water filled in there and you pump, it would just gush the water out. If there was not enough water in the well and you pump it, you would hear a sucking noise as it's trying to pull up, and you get a little spit out. That's the same idea. If you don't have enough blood coming to the heart and it pumps, you get a little bit, therefore lower pressure, but when you have enough coming in there and it's pumping against that, then you feel you got that blood going through as if you was running down the road, and you're just pumping that blood away and you're having a good old time. So you need the bigger blood vessels that this actually can do, and because it does strengthens the arterial walls, it also increases the pumping strength of the heart, which means better heart pressure. And that's important. You want good heart pumping pressure. And so taking this is a very good thing. Now, it also does some other things that helps because of those conditions I just talked about. People with angina, which is heart pain, it will help relieve that. Therefore, people also that have, let's see here, what's the same reason people with high blood pressure? helps to alleviate those conditions because of what I just said there. It doesn't have to work as hard. And in people who also suffer from rapid heart beating and also irregular heart beating, find relief when they take this Hawthorne Berry for that particular heart condition because of those things I just described. It does for that heart arterial wall and the blood vessels itself. And also it has some antioxidant properties. See, it's not only that little strengthening thing that goes on. All these herbs have antioxidant, which means it fights free radicals, gets the destroying things out of your system, in other words, is what that means. And it also helps to, so which those things help to any damage if you've done, it helps to repair that damage there. And so, let me get some little screen stuff going off my thing, popping up here. And so, because of these things, in Europe, it is one of the most widely prescribed herbs, under the right conditions, for that whole Europe, for people who have heart conditions, because it helps to increase that strength. And that's a very important thing. Now, I want to add in again, nutrition is only part of the cycle. Exercise, people think, you know, I got to do that. I'm taking this here over here. No, exercise to make it work. Give the exercise something to work with. Give the nutrition something to work with so that you feel better, so that you can see the results. Get it circulating through your body because, as I've said, your body is one unit. If your little toenail hurts, it hurts up here on the tip-top of your ear as well, you know, because you're all connected. You've got to take care of each other. Now, the next herb we want to talk about very briefly is the cayenne pepper. Now, this is a little hottie, isn't it? Yeah, there's a little product that comes in this pepper that is very useful to life. I believe that's pronounced capsaicin. And this helps out if they make it into the paste form, you know, where you got in a tube, you can take it. If you have arthritis in joints, you can rub it on there and it will give you relief. If you've pulled a muscle, it gives you relief if you rub it on there. And so those are topical things you can do with that, okay? But cayenne pepper also has, let's see here, it helps to prevent ulcers that are in your body. When you have ulcers in your stomach, it helps to prevent and heal those because of the antioxidant things it has in that as well. It also helps, if you have not noticed, when you've eaten pepper, that all of a sudden your nose starts running, your eyes start running, because it's opening up your sinuses, it's opening up your passageways to allow you to breathe better, to get more oxygen in, because oxygen is your fuel, you know, for everything. You know, you got to get your fuel inside of you. So it also helps to reduce blood cholesterol, bad cholesterol, LDL. You know, I had it in my head I made up that thing a while ago, but it's your lower damaging cholesterol, basically, is what it means. So you gave you LDL is something, and it also brings down your triglycerides, and that's something that, you know, many people don't pay attention to that. That's a big word when it's a little product, but when they're way out of whack, it causes some problems, just like cholesterol does. You know, now you got to have both. It needs them to make hormones. It needs it to do a function in the body that's there. So you don't want to get rid of it. You want to make it as a regular level there. And it helps to, let's see, it increases the body. Let's see, it helps to form blood clots in the body. Helps to make those work in the right way. You can have some that work the wrong way, some that work in the right way. In this way, it works in a right way. And so they have where they use this at in the cities they have found it at, in countries and states and villages where this is a really high eating at. The heart rate failure of people there is much, much, much lower than many places right here in America, because of this one little herb that is in there. And then the third one we're going to talk about very briefly, because there wasn't much on it here, but there is a fruity berry or an herb called cilantro, Cilantro, and it has antimicrobial properties. I'm really having a hard time with that one. And it's rich in phytonutrients, which is, things that come from the sunlight into the leaves, that's the idea, flavonoids, and one of the main flavonoids that comes in that is quercetin. And you've heard me say that a little bit at a time, sometimes in the past. Quercetin is a very, very powerful flavonoid. Helps with inflammation, helps with your heart, helps with everything about those conditions we've been talking about. And so you need those things in your system. And many people do not get that because it is not in processed food. And we are in such a hurry many times, we simply just do not eat right, therefore causing the problems that we have. And you find the FDA pyramid, well, here's what you got to do, and but the food values are not out there. And then they turn around and they the GMOs, changing this, changing that, add this in, take stuff out. As I said, your rice, you see it says enriched with, so they took something out, and then they got to go and put it back because people was getting sick. And so they're wishy-washy. This is why we need organic, totally organic foods in its natural way, so you do get the total benefits of the vitamins and herbs and enzymes that are in there to work in your body so you can truly live longer. And that's what we want, my friends. We want to be healthy. We want to enjoy life. We're here to grow old. I mean, from the time that you're born to live, but yet at the same time you're born to die, because eventually that's what's going to happen. What age, we don't know. But it is our responsibility to do the best we can to preserve it while we can and put it to good use in loving our neighbors and having great relationships and helping others while we're here. My friends, we've got some more herbs to talk about because these things are going to be put together as always. I want to share with you that these herbs here are put together in a formula already, so you don't have to go out and hunt down each one and get a specific thing. When it's put into your body every day as a normal basis, you don't actually have to have a specific amount for it to work. The body regulates many things itself when it functions properly if you give it the right nutrients. So we'll talk some more tomorrow about other herbs. I think there's about nine total that are put together in a formula that will help you to have a healthy heart, along with the other things we've been talking about, so that you can enjoy life. All right, I've carried on long enough. If you find value, my friends, please do indeed share, leave a comment. If you are open to looking at some of these things I've been sharing with you, leave a comment below, send me an Instagram. My phone number is on this website. There's many things and I say website, on my Facebook page here. And many ways you can contact me if you are open to taking a look at these things, and I can help you to begin your journey down the road to becoming more healthy. My friends, have a good evening. We'll see you tomorrow.